All right, we're off on another adventure.
2 miles, turn left.
I'm heading down to the Kenneth Cran, Bob 808 night, Bill in the Hills, Bushcraft Meetup
Turn left.
down in Tennessee. Leaving a little bit late on Saturday. Starts Sunday, so it'll be a tired day for me tomorrow.
Drive 1.3 miles and turn right.
Well, we're competing with the Garmin here. But there's been a tool that's been tempting me. It's sitting over just on the other side of Indianapolis, and it's a hand crank drill press, and it looks like it's in really good shape. Somebody's sprayed some nasty green paint on it, but it's all working, it's all there. The guy only wants 40 bucks for it. It's been for sale for 3 weeks. He's still got it. It's unbelievable. The thing's got to be worth 150 bucks anyways. Must just not have anybody around him that wants it. I spoke with him a few weeks ago, hinted to him about possibly shipping it to me. I'd pay the shipping and all that. He didn't want to mess with that. Pretty typical for a Craigslist seller. And I really can't justify. I mean, it's kind of a sign of a problem, maybe a tool buying addiction. If you drive a 3-hour round trip to buy a $40 tool. So I found a way to justify it.
Turn right and turn left.
Since I'm on my way to Tennessee, I don't have to drive back from Indianapolis. It's just a one-way trip. So it doesn't seem quite so sick to go get this hand crank drill press for 40 bucks.
And turn left.
Since I'm headed out on a trip anyways, I wish it was more on the way. It's kind of a lateral.
Miles, turn left.
I'm coming from the Dayton area. I'll be going down I-70. But anyways, that's the crazy thing I'm doing. It's probably going to put me down in Tennessee about 2 o'clock in the morning. Which probably means I ain't going to be at the campground first thing in the morning. I'll probably stop, I don't know, Jellicoe Mountain, sleep it off, finish up the drive in the morning. I can probably drive till midnight if I get wound up enough. But I'll be really excited to get this hand crank drill press. It's going to mean that I can make a handmade knife. So it'll be a fun little project. It's just something I want to do in the future. Now I've got a rudimentary knife grinder and a few power tools, but I think one of my early knives should be completely handmade, hand carved, hand sawn, hand filed, hand sanded, hand drilled. So that's what we're going to do, and I got to get this tool to do that, and to do it nicely. So I'll come back when we can show a little picture of the drill. Make sure I don't get in an accident here driving on these windy country roads to get out of my neighborhood. Man, May has been a tough month. I'm gone, it seems like. Man, I need to look at the calendar, but I think maybe I will have only been home during the month of May for 7, 8, 9 days, something like that. April is one of the tough months for my business. April and May is kind of the Christmas for my business. I make my living in the model airplane electronics business, and the Toledo show's in April. Seth is in May, Joe Knoll's in May. Those are all pretty big shows with travel commitments and a lot of time away from the office, away from home. And as much as I enjoy going to some of these places, I sure am happy when the season's over. But it's really not over. Normally it's over with the end of Joe Knoll. But it's really not going to be over because my wife and her friend are going to Alumapalooza. So as soon as I get back from, that's part of my Airstream addiction. As soon as I get back from Joe Knoll, I've got to hook up the trailer and haul it up to Loomapalooza and get them girls set up. But then finally I'll have a little bit of time to myself. And I really don't mind travel. I enjoy it, but I sure am looking to spend a little bit of time at home, like a couple of months in a row. Wow, that's kind of an unusual sight in middle Ohio here. A Confederate flag in front of a farm. Common sight down south, but not so common here. All right, I'm getting boring as hell. I'll come back with the, we can look at the drill press. Be pretty cool. Pulling out of the fuel station. Didn't start with too much diesel. The diesel was 265.9, and that's high. Fuel here looks like it was 225.9, and that's high. I remember what fuel was on Inauguration Day. It was $1.86. I think about things differently. I look at things differently. The price of fuel starts coming down. People start waving their hands in celebration. Oh, you know, well, it's not $3.50 anymore. We're saving so much money. It's $2.50. And it's still higher now. You know, they've been printing money so fast, diluting the money, the value of the money that we have. And, you know, we'll never see those days again. We'll never see those days again. We've been robbed. We've been robbed. We've been cheated. They print that money and dilute the money supply, and that's how they steal your retirement savings. That's how they steal your mother and your father's savings. That's how they steal your inheritance. And, you know, they don't need to tax retirement money. You know, all they got to do is print more fiat currency, print more paper money. It's totally, totally worthless. The only value that it has is intrinsic in what people place on that money. It's just, it's madness. It's total madness. Money flows to owners. Make sure in your life that you are an owner. It's not to say that you shouldn't save. Some savings is good, but you got to make sure you're out saving the your earnings is outracing inflation, because inflation's really the rate at which they're stealing it from you. A lot of people aren't going to like the views I've just expressed, but hey, it's the way I see it, and it's the way that it is. Reset my average mile per gallon. I'm doing 74, which is a little fast for a diesel. Certainly wouldn't tow at this speed. It's a very expensive speed to tow at. It's really efficient towing at 60, 62, 63. And I just clicked it about 10 seconds before I turned the video on. It's reading 23.4 miles per gallon. Diesels do great. I love my diesel. Bye-bye, Ohio. Hello, Indiana. The arches just went by. Yeah, I thought I was going to cut this up into a few different videos. I think I'll just make this a vlog for the whole trip. I don't know. Going by Sheldon Fireworks. It's a huge place. Skids and skids and skids and skids of fireworks. I launch a big boomer every time the Cincinnati Bengals win a football game. At least that's been my tradition this past season. And I got to launch a lot of them. In fact, I ran out. I had to come down here to Sheldon Fireworks, or over here to the west of me, to Sheldon Fireworks to get some more. there was somebody in the neighborhood who I never met who took on that responsibility of celebrating the bingo wins. They must have moved because they quit doing it. And I had some leftover fireworks, so I decided I would do it. Getting ready to pass one of America's most famous exits. Exit 149A in Richmond, Indiana. The Tom Raper exit. If you live anywhere in this area, you get inundated with billboards and commercials for Tom Raper. And it's a fun place to visit. If you like RVs and camping and that kind of thing. I haven't been there in a number of years, and I understand they've closed down their RV parts store, which is very disappointing because they had a really good store. You know, if you needed something immediately, it wasn't too terrible of a drive to run over here and pick something up, and usually it was a fair price. Just all the specialty plumbing fittings. There's another dead deer. Excuse me, I'm yawning. Well, it's early in my trip to be yawning already. I've seen more dead deer on the roads this year. They are everywhere. Just went by a closed way station. Leave them closed as far as I'm concerned. We've got these, always on a major highway near the border. When you enter a state, they'll have a way station. And it's like, here comes the herd of drivers they can prey upon and fine them big money. Hell, I want these trucks to be safe too, but it's such relentless government regulation of so many things. It's just out of hand. They roll across those scales and they're overweight. Well, the trucker didn't load the truck. His boss loaded it. And, who gets fined there? Well, the trucker gets fined. And they get, I don't know what it is today, 2 or 3 violations, and they lose their career. It's terrible. Well, I got another exciting opportunity coming up in a couple of weeks. One of my neighbors in my town, they had the garage sale weekend, and I've got this one neighbor who sets things out. And boy, he's got a way of naming a price that it's hard for me to say no to. I think he's got my number. Anyways, I bought a few things off of him. I bought a rolling work table, and it doesn't have a pan, but it's got like a work surface on the top and then a shelf down below. I was able to put my pancake air compressor on it and get it up off the floor. I've got that down on the bottom shelf, and I think I may use the top shelf for grinders. I haven't had a place to mount grinders. I don't like having wheels on something I've got grinders mounted to. So I may come up with a different plan, put some other tool on that. But that's going to help organize my workspace a little bit. What else did I buy off of him? Oh, I bought some jack stands. Wow, I didn't have any jack stands at this house. He had the jack stands with the cast stem. I like those with the cast iron stems instead of the ones made out of metal pipe. Those things are garbage. But he had 3 of those. And 4 of those. They were small ones. And he wanted $12 for all 4 of them. Gotta buy them. What else did he have there? I was trying to remember what all I loaded up. Oh, I got a Hitachi 4-inch or 6-inch, I'm not sure, angle grinder. Grinder's about that big. The one that I have is currently is a Harbor Freight one. So he sold me the Hitachi good used Hitachi for 15 bucks. Hopefully I can get 15 bucks out of the Harbor Freight and I will move up. And then Hitachi may be made in China, I don't know, but I'll bet you it's a heck of a lot better than Harbor Freight. Sounds pretty good. Starts with authority. Came with a case, so it's a little easier to keep organized than my Harbor Freight one, or Central Machinery, which has no case. I've had it for many, many years, only used it a few times. And I've thought it was a good tool, but, why not upgrade your tools when you get a chance? This guy with the hand-operated post drill press that I'm going to see, he's also got a floor model drill press listed, a Rockwell. And at first when I called him, he thought I was calling him about that. Well, I'm going to get to look at the Rockwell when I get there. I've already got a floor model Rockwell drill press. I haven't done a back of the truck video. I filmed a back of the truck video, but I haven't put it up yet. But anyways, I want to restore that and replace my Central Machinery floor model drill press. It's a much nicer drill press than the Harbor Freight one. But the Rockwell one that I have is fairly simple in that line. It would be cool to find one that's got a few more features, a little more exotic. I keep yawning. So if this one's got some more features, I'll probably buy it off of him and sell the other one, because it's a fine drill press. I'd really like to get a floor model of Werner and Swayze, or some other brand like that. The Delta Rockwells and the Rockwells are fairly common, and I guess I'd just like to have something that had a little more vintage bling to it than that. But it's not going to take much work to get this thing in nice shape. So if I later find something a little more second kind of cool, I'll just sell it and replace it.